Hello, student.
Sound was okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And welcome to CE143 Computer Concepts and Programming Lab. In this lab, we are going to discuss program number 9.2, that is calculating the area of a triangle using Heron's formula. So here, the length of the triangle is already given, and we have to find out the lengths of triangle are already given in the form of ABC, and we have to find out the area of a triangle using Heron's formula, right? But before we calculate the area using Heron's formula, first we have to check whether the entered triangle is valid or not, right? So we will go to this, right? So first check whether the triangle is valid or not. So first, in order to check whether the triangle is valid or not, what you have to do? You have to check whether A plus B is greater than C. So a triangle is valid if sum of its two sides is greater than the third side. If three sides ABC, uh, then three conditions should be met. If A plus B is greater than C, A plus C is greater than B, and B plus C is greater than A, then and then the triangle is valid. So first we will check whether the triangle is valid or not. So we can also flip these conditions. We can write down A plus B is less than or equal to C. uh, if we check A plus B is less than or equal to C, if A plus C is less than or equal to B, if B plus C is less than or equal to A, if we check condition like this, then what will happen? The triangle will not be valid, right? The triangle will not be valid. This condition is for the triangle is valid. If we want to check whether the triangle is not valid, then we have to reverse the condition. So we will write down A plus B is less than or equal to C, A plus C is less than or equal to B, B plus C is less than or equal to A, and so on. So first we will check whether the triangle is valid or not, right? Then second we will check using the Heron's formula, right? So area of a triangle, what is the area of a triangle? So first we will calculate we will do the summation of ABC. So you know that the summation of ABC is always the perimeter of a triangle, right? And we will write down S equal to A plus B plus C upon 2, right? So you can calculate the area of a triangle if you know the lengths of all the three sides using the formula that has been known for nearly 2000 years. It is called Heron's formula after hero of Alexandria, right? So we have to first calculate S. So S equal to A plus B plus C upon 2. And then you have to calculate the area. So area is equal to square root of S in the bracket S minus A into S minus B and into S minus C, right? So this is how you will calculate. So for finding the square root, we will use SQRT functions of maths.h. For finding the square root, we will use SQRT functions of maths.h. Okay. So um, now as we have already discussed, we will have two user-defined functions. See, we want to calculate the uh, uh, area of a triangle using nested function, using the concept of nested function. So in your practical list, it is not given that you have to find out using a nested function, but you have to calculate this using a nested function only, right? So what we will do, we will first check whether the triangle is valid or not, and then in the second function, we will calculate the area of a triangle, right? So we will not invest time in calculating the area of a triangle if the triangle sides are not valid, right? So this is how we will do, right? So here see, inside main, we have declared three variables ABC, which are the three sides of the triangle. The reason why it is declared double is because you need to include the header file hash include math.h, right? We have to include that header file here if you want to calculate the square root, right? So here it is double, right? So why it is double? Because you know that in maths.h, all the functions will accept the values in double only, right? So you have to include the header file math.h. We will write down double ABC, then you will enter the sides of the three triangles. You know that percentage LF we are using for taking the input of any side for double, right? And then we will check if check validity and then ABC. So what check validity function is doing? Check validity function is checking whether the triangle is valid or not, right? So now we are passing ABC inside check validity function. So as you know, this ABC are the childrens of main function and this ABC are the children of check validity function. So this ABC's scope is only up to this function and this main ABC's scope is only up to this function. So even if here the variable names are same, they are actually different variables, right? So we are creating a copy of ABC. So now what I'm doing is I'm inside this if condition, I'm just writing one function check validity and I'm passing a comma b comma c, right? I'm passing a comma b comma c. So a value will pass to this a, this b value will pass to this b, and this c value will pass to this c, right? And now we will check if a plus b is less than or equal to c, or a plus c is less than or equal to b, or b plus c is less than or equal to a. Then what does it mean? If it is less than or equal to a, or less than or equal to b, or less than or equal to c, then the triangle will not be valid. The triangle will not be valid, so it will return 0. Return 0 matlab kya? The triangle is not valid. So if I'm entering, let's say, the sides of the triangle as 1, 2, 3, and if I'm checking if check validity ABC, then it will return 0. So when that value is returned here, and here in the if condition the value returned would be 0, that means what? This condition is not true. So if this condition is not true, it will it will go to the else part and it will print the message invalid triangle. Then it will print the message invalid triangle, right? But if the sides of the triangles are valid, let's say if I enter 4, 5, 6, so 4, 5, 6 is a valid triangle name. And if I'm passing 4, 5, 6 over here, right, in the area, so here you can see the concept of nesting function is you are calling first the check validity function, and then you are calling this okay, first here it is not the. So nesting of function means what? One function is called inside another function, right? So we have called here if check validity ABC. If we will call these functions, it will go inside this check validity. Here, if this condition is satisfied, it will return 0. Return 0 means the triangle is not valid. The triangle is not valid. So it will go here, right? And it will return 0 and it will go to the else part and it will print invalid triangle, right? But if the triangle is valid, let's say, so what it will do, it will take the value of ABC. It will check whether the triangle is valid or not. So this condition will not be satisfied. So it will go to the else part. And now this function area is called, right? So inside check validity function, the area function is getting called. So this is known as nesting of function. When one function is called inside another function, then it is known as the nesting of function. So inside check validity, we are calling the area of ABC function. So now here the A value will get passed to X, B value will get passed to Y, and C value will get passed to Z, right? And then we will pass double S comma area. Now we will calculate S equal to X plus Y plus Z upon 2. So you already have this three sides. Area is equal to square root of, we will calculate this using the Heron's formula. So we are using this SQRT function. And as you are aware, in SQRT functions, all the arguments are in double. So we have written S as double and XYZ as also double. And then we will print f the area of triangle calculated using Heron's formula is percentage LF and area. So as you know, for input you are taking percentage LF for double, right? So now if I run this program, And if I enter 1, 2, 3, so it is not a valid triangle. So it will display the message invalid triangle. Right now, if I execute this code again and if I press 4, 5, 6, then the area of triangle calculated using Heron's formula is 9.92156 and valid triangle will be printed. So it is a valid triangle, and then we have calculated the area of a triangle. So I hope this concept of nesting of function is clear to you. Thank you so much. Hello, students.
Clear with practical 9.2, or is there any doubt? Any doubt?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, students, and welcome to C143 Computer Concepts and Programming Lab. In this lab, we are going to learn the concept of recursion and how to find a numbers equivalent binary number. Suppose the number given is 10, then the equivalent binary number of that decimal number 10 is 1010. Similarly, if you enter the number 3, then the equivalent binary number is 11. So in this way, we will find out how to find out the binary of a given decimal number, right? So first I'll share my screen. Okay, so now first of all, what is recursion? So recursion is a function which calls itself, right? So a process by which a function calls itself is known as a recursion. Now, if you call a recursion without including a base case in your program, then the function will go in an infinite loop, right? So recursion is a repetitive process where the function call itself, right? And generally, a normal function only knows how to solve the simplest case of problem. When the simplest case is given as an input, the function will immediately return with an answer, right? But if the more complex input is given, then the recursive function will divide the problem into two pieces, a part that it knows how to solve and another part that it does not know how to solve. तो जो पार्ट फंक्शन को पता है कि वो कैसे सॉल्व करना है, देन दैट पार्ट इज नोन एज द बेस केस, एंड जो पार्ट फंक्शन को नहीं पता कि हाउ टू सॉल्व, दैट पार्ट इज नोन एज द जनरल केस, right? The part that it knows how to solve, that will be known as the base case, and another part that it does not know how to solve, that will be known as the general case, right? So a recursive function is invoked or called to solve a problem. A statement that solves a problem is known as the base case, and every recursive function must have a base case. The rest of the function is called the general case. And the recursion step is done until the problem converges to become the simplest case. And the simplest case will be solved by the function, which will then return the answer to the previous copy of the function, and the sequence of return will then go all the way up to the original call of the function, and it will finally return the result. So what I mean by all these statements, let's see with an example, right? So suppose you are given a problem of uh, how to find out the uh, binary equivalent of a given number, right? So So here the problem is given that we want to find out the binary equivalent of any number. So let's say if I run this program and if I enter the value as 34, then it will give me its binary value, right? Similarly, if I enter the value, let's say 10, then it will give me 1010, right? If I enter the value as 3, then the binary is 11, right? So you all know that how we are dividing, uh, how we are calculating the binary number, right? So you already know how to convert the decimal number to binary number. So suppose we are having one number 156, we will divide it by 2. When we divide it by 2, the remainder will be 0 and the quotient will be 78. So again we will divide 2 by 78. Again the value will be 0. Again we will divide it, the quotient will be 39. So again we will divide the number 2 with 39. The number will be 1 and so on. So whenever whatever remainder we are getting at the end, we will then take the number from last number to the this first remainder. So we will take the number in reverse. So it is 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0. So we are taking the remainder in reverse order, right? So suppose we have a number 10. So what we are basically doing, we are dividing it by 2. We are getting the quotient as 5 and we are getting the remainder as 0, right? And when we are dividing, now in the next turn, we are dividing this quotient which we have obtained. So we are again dividing 5 divided by 2. The quotient obtained is 2 and the remainder is 1. So how would you obtain the quotient? We will just simply divide the number by 2. So as you know that this is also integer, this is also integer. So if I write 5 divided by 2, then it should be something like 2.5. But because both of them are integer, I'll get the quotient only as 2. So when you divide, you will get the quotient. And when you do modulo, then you will get the remainder. So if I write 10 modulo 2, then I'll get 0. If I write 5 modulo 2, then I'll get 1. So you know that modulo operator is used to find the remainder. So remainders we will obtain by using modulo operator and quotients we will obtain by using the divided by operator. So again 2 divided by 2 is 1. So 2 ones are 2. So 1 is the quotient and 0 is the remainder. Again 1 divided by 2. So you know 1 zeros are 0 and sorry, when you are writing 2 and 1, so 2 zeros are 0 and 1 will be the remainder, so 1 is the remainder, and then we will reverse it, so it will be 1 0 1 0, right? So see here, I have already written a program, right? So here see what we are doing. We are having one main function, we are having number, right? And we are entering the number. So enter the number to convert it into binary. We will do scanf percentage the address of number, and we will call this function binary of number, right? Now binary of number जैसे ही call होगा, जो भी number हमने enter किया, let's say 10, so 10 value will pass to num, right? This number is inside main, this num is the duplicate copy of this number, so I'm passing this value of 10 into this num, right? Now here I'm having two cases. This is the base case, a part of the function which knows how to solve the problem, and this is known as the general case, a part of the program which doesn't know how to solve the problem, right? So 10 value is getting passed over here, right? See here binary is again calling this function binary. So a function calling itself is known as the recursion. So binary function is calling binary number only. So that is the recursion. Now inside this 10, it will not go into the base case. Why it will not go into the base case? क्योंकि 10 की वैल्यू का हमें पता नहीं है, द वैल्यू 10 इज नॉट इक्वल टू 0, राइट? तो जब क्वोशंट की वैल्यू 0 आएगी तभी हम क्या करेंगे, वी विल जस्ट रिटर्न, राइट? अब यहाँ पर सपोज चार मैंने वैल्यू डाली है 10, तो 4 बार बाइनरी फंक्शन कॉल होगा और 4 बार बाइनरी फंक्शन रिटर्न भी होगा, right? It will return some value or maybe it will print something, right? So अगर मेरा फंक्शन 4 बार कॉल हो रहा है या 5 बार कॉल हो रहा है या 10 बार कॉल हो रहा है, always remember in recursion whatever number of function is getting executed, that many times also that value will be either returned or some printf statement for that particular function will be executed. अब यहाँ पर देखो जैसे बाइनरी इंटीजर नम है तो 10 वैल्यू है, 10 वैल्यू ये वाला बेस केस तो सेटिस्फाई नहीं हो रहा है बिकॉज 10 इज नॉट इक्वल टू 0, so it will go and it will call binary of 10 divided by 2, so it will call binary of 5, right? Because 10 divided by 2 is what? It is 5. So binary of 5 will be called. तो पहले क्या कॉल हुआ, बाइनरी ऑफ 10 कॉल हुआ, फिर बाइनरी ऑफ 5 कॉल हुआ, लेकिन ये प्रिंटफ स्टेटमेंट जो है वो तो एग्जीक्यूट ही नहीं हुआ क्योंकि बाइनरी कॉल हो गया, तो वापस नाउ दिस 10 5 वैल्यू विल गो इनसाइड दिस बाइनरी नंबर, this function. So this 5 value is again going here, right? Now again this base case is not satisfied. Now 5 divided by 2 is what? 2, because it is actually 2.5, but the value will be 2 because 5 is integer, 2 is integer. So it will be 2.5, but it will be 2 because these two are integers. So 2 value will again pass here, right? But again, printf is not getting executed for that particular function call, right? So 2 divided by 2, see here I have created a flow. So पहले क्या होगा, binary of 10 will be called. अब बाइनरी ऑफ 10 में अंदर गया, बेस केस सेटिस्फाई नहीं हुआ, सो बाइनरी ऑफ 10 डिवाइडेड बाय 2, दैट इज बाइनरी ऑफ 5 गॉट कॉल्ड. अब बाइनरी ऑफ 5 में भी बेस केस सेटिस्फाई नहीं हुआ, तो वापस बाइनरी ऑफ 5 डिवाइडेड बाय 2 कॉल हुआ, दैट इज बाइनरी ऑफ 2. अब बाइनरी ऑफ 2 भी सेटिस्फाई नहीं हुआ, राइट? बेस केस सेटिस्फाई नहीं हुआ because 2 is again not 0, so binary of 2 divided by 2, which is binary of 1. Now again binary of 1 will be called, and binary of 1 divided by 2, which is equal to binary of 0, is getting called. अब जैसे ही binary of 0 कॉल हुआ, बेस केस सेटिस्फाई हुआ because num की वैल्यू अब 0 हो गई, तो it will return, right? अब जब रिटर्न होगा तो क्या होगा, देखो लास्ट, अब यहाँ पर कितने फंक्शंस कॉल हुए टोटल? बाइनरी ऑफ 10 हुआ, फिर बाइनरी ऑफ 5 हुआ, बाइनरी ऑफ 2 हुआ, बाइनरी ऑफ 1 हुआ और बाइनरी ऑफ 0 हुआ. तो 5 बार ये फंक्शन कॉल हुआ. बाइनरी ऑफ 0 में कुछ सिर्फ क्या लिखा है हमने, रिटर्न, राइट? सो इट इज जस्ट रिटर्निंग बैक. तो रिटर्न वो कहाँ पर होगा, कहाँ पर रिटर्न होगा? इट विल रिटर्न टू बाइनरी ऑफ 1. इट विल रिटर्न टू बाइनरी ऑफ 1. ठीक है? कॉलिंग किस सीक्वेंस में हुआ? बाइनरी ऑफ 10, बाइनरी ऑफ 5, बाइनरी ऑफ 2, बाइनरी ऑफ 1, बाइनरी ऑफ 0. जब वैल्यूज रिटर्न होगी तो वो किस सीक्वेंस में होगी? रिवर्स केस में. सो बाइनरी ऑफ 0 विल बी कॉल्ड, देन बाइनरी ऑफ 1, फिर बाइनरी ऑफ 2, फिर बाइनरी ऑफ 3, फिर बाइनरी ऑफ 4, बाइनरी ऑफ 10, सॉरी. सो हियर बाइनरी ऑफ 0 जब कॉल हुआ, राइट, तो उसने क्या कर दिया? रिटर्न 0 कर दिया, मतलब जस्ट रिटर्न रिटर्न कर दिया. फिर वो रिटर्न होने के बाद कहाँ जाएगा? बाइनरी ऑफ 1 में जाएगा. अब बाइनरी ऑफ 1 में printf परसेंटेज डी नम मॉड्यूलो 2 प्रिंट करना बाकी था फॉर बाइनरी ऑफ 1. तो वो क्या करेगा? 1 मॉड्यूलो 2 इज इक्वल टू 1, सो इट विल प्रिंट द वैल्यू 1. फिर वो कहाँ पर जाएगा? नेक्स्ट फंक्शन कॉल में जाएगा, बाइनरी ऑफ 2 में जाएगा. अब बाइनरी ऑफ 2 में भी printf परसेंटेज डी नम मॉड्यूलो 2 प्रिंट करना बाकी था. सो 2 मॉड्यूलो 2 इज 0, सो 0 विल बी प्रिंटेड. Again it will go to the next call, right? And next में क्या करेगा कि binary of 5 है, तो मतलब 5 modulo 2 equal to 1. binary of 5 तो बहुत पहले कॉल हो गया था, लेकिन उसका जो printf स्टेटमेंट था वो अभी भी प्रिंट होना बाकी था. So num modulo 2 equal to 1 ये प्रिंट होगा. फिर से it will go here and it will print 10 modulo 2 equal to 0. So as you are aware, 1 0 1 0 will get printed. So printing कैसे होगा? रिवर्स ऑर्डर में होगा. क्यों? बिकॉज फंक्शन कॉल जिस डायरेक्शन में होगा उसके रिवर्स डायरेक्शन में उसके आंसर्स प्रिंट होंगे, राइट? So I hope you have understood this program, right? For more doubts, you can always talk to your lab faculties. Thank you.
Any doubt till now? I think आज के लिए इतना enough है, that's why. Okay.